Mr. Horns 83. This is Mr. Horns 83 show. And today I am going to be talking about WrestleMania 41. I'm not doing a review. I'm just talking about it. And some issues I had with it. Some things I thought they did good with it. But, you know. And I'm going to talk about the reveals that Mattel had at WrestleMania weekend. This video is sponsored by Coke Zero. Not really. Anyway. Anyway, so let's talk about night one because golly. Night one. Shoot, my wife's Easter dress is in the way. Night one of WrestleMania 41 sucked. There were only two good matches on the frickin' show. That was the Jacob Fatu and LA Knight match. And then that was the frickin' triple threat main event. The Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton match was not that good. All you can think about that is Charlotte Flair did not win the women's WWE championship. New Day are now 12-time champs in a bad match they had with the War Raiders. What else? Jacob Fatu beat LA Knight for the US title. There weren't many title matches, I don't think, on this show. And you know what? The Rey Fenix match, I've seen better from Rey Fenix, whether it was Ring of Honor, TNA, or even in AEW. So that match, you know, I know him and Chad Gable, aka El Grande Americano, were trying their best to put on a good match, but Phoenix just did not look ready for a big WrestleMania match yet. Pitt, on the other hand, did, and I'll talk about that when I talk about night two. Jey Uso, the new World Heavyweight Champion, like I said, Gunther's had way better matches than he had with Jey Uso. In fact, I think the freaking match he had with Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event was better than this match was. But night one, complete garbo. I mean, unreal. It's just garbage. Only two good matches on the show. But let's get to night two. Night two was really good. Had a good opener with the women's world title on the line, the triple threat match. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. And then even the Jade Cargill match. You know, everybody said, oh, she's being better than she was in AEW. Seems like she's pretty much in the same spot in freaking WWE that she was in AEW. And AEW gave her their secondary women's title. And in some cases, her freaking title was more important than the women's world title. Her title matches were. So, I don't know. I think AEW did really good with her, but everybody probably thinks, oh, because they suck on Triple H's cock, they're like, oh yeah, he's doing way better with her. So I'll talk about that in a minute too when I get to this freaking main event. Because I am going to talk about the main event. Like I said, it's not a review, it's just, you know, a quick recap, whatever you want to call it. But, honestly, great opening match, really good. And all the matches except for two matches were good on night two, which is the opposite of night one, when only two matches were good and the rest were garbage. Night two, a lot of matches were good, except for the two final matches. But let's talk about who Randy Orton's mystery opponent was real fast before I get into the main event, because I'm going to talk about that. And I'll tell you which two matches I thought were the worst matches on the frickin' show. So, Randy Orton's opponent was Joe Hendry. Now, people probably going to frickin' dislike this video, give me hate comments or whatever. But I'm not a big fan of the Joe Hendry crap. I don't like the stupid song, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I don't care for that. I didn't care for it in Ring of Honor, and I don't care for it in TNA. And I'm glad Randy Orton got the win. I cheered when Randy Orton got the win. But Joe Hendry is TNA's world champion. And Joe Hendry pretty much dominated the match and got the best of Randy Orton until the last few minutes when he did his stupid little pose. And he got RKO'd and beat like that. Then, after that, after Randy Orton pins him, he picks him up, he's raising his hands for a couple minutes. Fans are cheering at that. He RKO's him again and freaking does the Randy Orton pose. He does the turn away and it turns around like this. Now, I didn't have a problem with it except for one thing. He's a TNA World Champion, so they pretty much buried TNA's World Champion. Even though they got a partnership, but it's kind of like years ago when frickin' it was crystal clear that frickin' WWE was working with ECW. When Taz came and took the belt from Mike Awesome and frickin' held it. Was it Mike? Yeah, it was Mike Awesome. Came and took the belt from Mike Awesome. Went up against Triple H, the WWF champion at the time, and got beat. Got buried. Buried. Yeah. Buried. Triple H. Gonna bury everybody from other companies. But yeah. So I thought that was kind of crazy, especially with the fact they got this partnership with TNA and they just buried the TNA World Champion. I don't know. I wouldn't have put the belt on freaking Joe Hendry anyway. Now look, if Joe Hendry hadn't been TNA champion, I wouldn't even be complaining about it because I don't like Joe Hendry. I would have enjoyed it even more. But in the same case, while I'm enjoying it, I'm like, wow, they just buried the TNA World Champion. So yeah. Anyway, of course that's what happens. It's WWE. They can't help themselves. Alright, so now let's get to, first off, we got the big return of Becky Lynch, which I also want to talk about that, because this is one of the things I got a problem with this WrestleMania. Now, this past holiday season and that, WWE made a big deal about we're releasing secondary women's titles. We're going to have an Intercontinental title and we're going to have a U.S. title. One for Raw, one for SmackDown. Then why in the world is the current Women's Intercontinental Champion fighting for the Women's Tag Team Championship when she's got what's supposed to be the more prestigious belt? The frickin' Women's Tag Team titles have been meaningless. So they got that belt. They got the Intercontinental Women's Champion fighting for tag team titles. Seriously, what the heck? And I'll talk about Triple H's booking here in a minute before I get into all the reveals Mattel made. But oh my God, that is just ridiculous. Now Becky Lynch did return, and Lila Valkyrie and Becky Lynch won the tag belts, which means that means she's getting a push. Her title's meaningless. She's fighting for another meaningless title, and probably ain't gonna do nothing with either one of those titles. So I don't get it. I do not get it at all. Anyway, now let's get to the matches that were terrible. And this pains me to say it because I'm a big fan of one of these guys, and the other guy I just despise. But the AJ Styles and freaking Logan Paul match was not that good. Both of those guys have had better matches in WWE. And this match was not that good. I thought it was lame. I thought it was one of the weakest matches on the show. And I can't believe the way it ended. With freaking Karrion Kross coming out, helping AJ from, Logan Paul's entourage guy, Jeff, giving him the brass knucks. But then after he says, here, use the brass knucks, AJ takes the brass knucks, throws them, and hits Karrion Kross. Just helped him, by the way. Ungrateful prick, I swear, AJ Styles. Ungrateful prick. But anyway, then he freaking goes in the ring, gets punched in the freaking jaw by freaking Logan Paul, and Logan Paul does his, what was it, pulverizer? I think this was. It looks like a devastating move. But no brass knucks. Just a regular punch, and AJ's like, and then boom. The pulverizer, whatever it's freaking called. That was just stupid. And it made AJ Styles look like a complete dummy. You know. So, wow. As far as the freaking match with Randy Orton and Joe Hendry, I was hoping it was going to be Nick Aldis to fight. I wanted to see Randy Orton and Nick Aldis fight. I think that would have been a good match. But it didn't happen. Alright, guess what the other bad match was? Of course. Because one thing's for sure, this was all built up around The Rock, and The Rock didn't even show up, and still we got stupid Travis Scott. That's right, the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania really sucked. I did notice Cena was wrestling a different style than what he usually would when he was a face. So I did notice that. Also, Cena wore a black shirt, wore a black hat, had black gym shoes on. Surprised he just didn't go all in and just have black jean shorts as well. But, you know, I guess he had enough black on. And then he takes the towel, instead of putting it up like this and sprinting down the freaking ramp, he just puts it on the back of his head and just walks slowly to the ring. Cody Rhodes got a pretty good entrance. But something else I want to talk about with this match, because this match was kind of a Bizarro Land match, and I'll tell you why. Because both nights of WrestleMania, Wade Barrett was the heel commentator against all the other faces. And Cole and McAfee was somewhat being a heel and a face commentator throughout the whole thing. But then this match starts. John Cena's supposed to be the heel, right? Yeah, John Cena's supposed to be the heel. Why was McAfee and Michael Cole pretty much talking about how great John Cena was? You know, John Cena's the man. He's going to win his 17th championship. He never gives up. I mean, they were building this guy up like he was still the face. And Wade Barrett was bashing Cena, the guy that was for the heels. And all the other matches turned to the face commentator. And when Cena won the title at the end with that stupid ending where he kicked Cody in the balls and hits him with the belt after Travis Scott came out and got involved, you know, instead of freaking Michael Cole and them saying what a scumbag Cena is, it was freaking Wade Barrett. And I cannot, and you know what, I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know what, I bet Wade Barrett, a lot of that stuff he's saying, he generally feels that way about John Cena because of what John Cena did to him in the Nexus in 2010. So they let Wade Barrett just completely bash Cena throughout the whole match, while Michael Cole and frickin' Pat McAfee were dick riding John Cena. I'm like, wait a minute. Michael Cole's supposed to be the face commentator. McAfee was going between face and heel commentary both nights on the show. And you both are sucking the cock of the heel. That made no sense. Wade Barrett, though, he was tearing into Cena, calling him a scumbag, say he was a low down piece of crap, all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, Wade Barrett gets the freaking vent about Cena. It's kind of like how when Hogan went heel and Bobby Heenan for all those years was, you know, the heel commentator against Hogan, and then he was the face commentator against Hogan when Hogan was a part of the NWO. That's kind of how it went with that, so yeah. But then again, it's a different story with Wade Barrett and John Cena than it is Bobby Heenan and freaking Hulk Hogan. Now, Bobby Heenan always claimed he didn't like Hogan, but he said at least Hogan would, you know, dress with the boys and be in the locker room hanging out with the boys and that. And he said that stuff in the Ultimate Warrior, Ultimate Destruction DVD. But yeah, Wade Barrett was the one being the face commentator and bashing everything Cena was doing. And was cheering for Cody. You would think Cody was the freaking bad guy with the way Cole and freaking McAfee were talking. I mean, seriously. I don't know who told them to switch to heel commentators during this match. Whoever it was, probably was Triple H. It was just stupid. But you know what? We got to hear Wade Barrett just totally bash Cena the whole match. So that made me happy. That's freaking Wade Barrett's receipt for Cena burying him and the freaking Nexus in 2010. So yeah. That's Wade Barrett's freaking receipt for that. But anyway, overall, night 2 was better than night 1. But the show was not as good as the last 2 WrestleManias, I don't think. I think the last 2 WrestleManias were way better than this one. And that's the thing. Triple H's booking. Everybody's been, sucking on the cock of Triple H. Oh, he's been great. He's been doing good. But this build to WrestleMania and a few decisions he's made these past few months, he ain't been booking as good as he was when it started. Now look, the company is still way better than it was when frickin' Vince McMahon was frickin' running it in those later days. But, it just shows you, especially with the Joe Hendry thing. The more things change, the more they say the same in WWE. And that's pretty much what it is. And people are still blinded by how good Triple H did with NXT. That's the thing. How good he did with NXT. NXT is a minor thing compared to running both of the WWE shows that they got. And, running the frickin' running the frickin' Saturday Night Main Event shows. And running the pay-per-views and that. That's a whole lot different than NXT. Triple H was doing good in the small pond, but then when he got in the bigger pond, he's still made some mistakes. He's done some good things, but he's also done a lot of bad things. That's why I've always said Triple H's frickin' time as head booker has been a bit overrated. And he's been doing this, since 2023. He's been the official head booker since 2023. And I've seen some things from then to now that he still made some the same mistakes that Vince McMahon made originally when Vince McMahon was running it in the later years. So yeah, but he hasn't done as many bad or made as many stupid decisions as what Vince McMahon did, when he was running it in those later years before he was finally forced out of freaking control in WWE when TKO bought the company and all that. So, yeah. That's another thing, too, I want to talk about. One of the biggest things that really irritates me about the wrestling internet community is one of their biggest gripes with AEW is too many meaningless belts. Too many titles, huh? And they say, well, WWE does too, but they gloss over it. But they bash AEW so much for it, and it's freaking annoying. It looks like AEW might be getting rid of a couple belts, like, I don't know, the Continental title when they merge it, when freaking Kenny Omega and Okada fight again. They're trying to do more with the trios belts now. Tag team titles are trying to get things, back to where they were in those early days of AEW. Especially with, trying to make the championship feel prestigious. But yet you have the Women's Intercontinental Champion, which that belt's supposed to be more prestigious, fighting for the Women's Tag Team title because you couldn't think of anybody for her to fight for that Women's Intercontinental title. I just don't get it. That's one of the biggest irritations I get from the wrestling internet community when they freaking gripe about AEW having too many belts, or matches being too long, or if Triple H does do some bad booking stuff, it gets overlooked, and then it's just gonna continue happening. Now Triple H is getting to the point where he's like, well, those people on the internet that critique WWE, they're not really wrestling fans, blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. I've been watching wrestling since I was a year and a half old. WWE wrestling. Then I got into WCW and NWA and all that stuff, and ECW, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, all that stuff that's been around for a bit. So, yeah. I've watched a lot of wrestling over the years. But yet, because I'm critiquing them, I'm not a real wrestling fan. Now, I'm not saying he was directing that at me, but I'm just saying, I'm using myself as an example since I'm talking about this right now, and I'm critiquing how overrated his booking decisions are. But because everybody's hate boners for AEW, no matter what AEW does, they're just going to keep on bashing them. Like when frickin' Triple H bashed Ospreay for going to AEW, bashed Ospreay and Okada for going to AEW instead of coming to WWE. Look what happened. AEW retaliates and people frickin' bash AEW for it. But WWE and Triple H get a pass. That's a bunch of gibberish. You're gonna bash one company for it, bash the other frickin' company. Quit being hypocrites. And that's what the IWC is, and that's what the IWC is always gonna be. A bunch of frickin' hypocrites. So yeah, whatever. Also, we had Stone Cold come out and injure a frickin' fan because he was riding crazy on that frickin' ATV he had. I think Stone Cold's too old to be driving that anymore. But yeah, I was really irritated with the main event because The Rock did not get involved at all. Instead, they have stupid Travis Scott come out. And then, McAfee and frickin' Cole and them are still frickin' rooting on Cena. And Barrett is still bashing Cena and Travis Scott. So, yeah, it was bizarro ending that match. I don't know. Crazy. Really crazy. But anyway, yeah. Alright, now let's get to, now that we've done spent the first half talking about WrestleMania. One thing I will say, I won't be going back to revisit this WrestleMania. But, now that's out of the way, let's talk about all the Mattel WWE reveals. Now, they had some good reveals, but not as exciting as the past couple of years. And the past couple of years stuff was pretty good. They did reveal that Cody and Brandy 2-pack, which are going to come in a pack together. They said that's the first time they've done that because all the other 2-packs have come in separate packs. Just have a box put over the 2 separate packs and So there we go, there's a 2-pack. Let's charge people more for that. And then they revealed Cody with Farrell the Dog, which was from WrestleMania 39, and then last year's was WrestleMania 40. The thing that excited me the most about all the reveals was the new Monday Night War stuff they revealed. We're getting American Badass Undertaker again when he first came back. This time he's going to have the jacket, because the last American Badass Undertaker and jean pants and the denim jacket and all that stuff did not come with the frickin' trench coat. And he had some stupid hat and glasses, and that was it. No frickin' bandanas, no bike, no nothing. But, so I think I might, if I'm able to find any Monday Night War stuff, because it's so damn hard to find the Monday Night War stuff. It's unreal, because all these frickin' scalpers grab them, then they want to charge $40 at flea market booths, or they frickin' charge $50 to $100. It's just like ridiculous, man. That's one of the lines I was most excited coming out, and I ain't even had a chance to buy any of them because of damn scalpers. And then people who want to pretend to be Bill Monachina and frickin' Steve Ozer and all that, and buy doubles of things so they can frickin' make custom figures and all that garbage. And who want to buy, I want one mint on card and then I want one loose. That stuff's annoying. Especially when you can't find it anywhere. But anyway, I digress. Monday Night Wars was the thing that excited me the most. I am excited to see the Great Khali's coming finally in elite form. And it's going to be taught, because I guess the freaking Royal Rumble Build-A-Figure was shorter than what Great Khali was. So this freaking one is going to be its own elite. Supposed to be taller than that, so that's pretty good. So I finally got that fixed. One thing I will talk about the Superstar line. We saw an Ultimate Warrior with an Intercontinental title, and it had the red logo, WWE block logo. I'm like, well, wow, it's about time they got that. Because, you know, that's something they haven't done, is multicolored strap belts. Well, they've done it for the Winged Eagle, but they haven't done it for, like, Intercontinental belt or anything like that. So I saw that. I'm like, that's pretty cool, but is it going to be the proper size to fit the normal Elite figures? Because I think the Superstar figure Shawn Michaels that came out with the blue strapped Intercontinental title, I think that belt was smaller. Or it was molded after the frickin' one with the white strap that had the frickin' scratch logo and all that stuff on it. I don't know, because I only seen that like a couple times and I'm like, well, the belt's so small. Should be a little bit bigger. It's like, if you wanted to take your normal Elite Intercontinental title and put it on the blue strap, it probably wouldn't be able to go on there. So, I don't know. It looks like it's a decent size. It looks like they're making belts for the retro Hasbro style figures now with the rings and that. I seen the Intercontinental one. And I seen the WWF Championship. So maybe, just maybe, it's a possibility that we get that. Well, you'd have to get the ring to get it anyway. They revealed some new legends. One line has Terry Funk from '89 with his feud with Ric Flair. Right after Ric Flair finished feuding with Ricky Steamboat over the World Heavyweight title. Showed off the next couple of new Elite lines. They showed off the Scott Steiner Monday Night Wars Ultimate Edition. Thank God it's Monday Night Wars. Although I probably won't find it at frickin' Walmart. I had to buy the frickin' Lex Luger Monday Night War off of eBay because it still ain't in Walmart stores. That's supposed to been out by now. Walmart's around me has not had it. So I bought the damn thing off of eBay. And, you know, hopefully the Scott Steiner will be easier to find. But it's not coming out till this fall, so, yeah. Right around Christmas season. I still don't like, and I guess, you know, because they can't do 69 because they're for kids. Even though they pretty much market these things to the collectors. They're not going to put the 69, it's just going to be the circle and an S. So there's going to be circle S's on the side of the trunks, and then a circle S right there by around his crotch and all that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what it looks like when it comes out, though. Pretty sure people will frickin' acetone the frickin' S out of there, and they'll frickin' put the 69 anyway. I don't think we're going to get Scott Steiner with the Superman style S's that he had on his trunks when he first turned heel and all that. We're probably not going to get that at all, so yeah. We'll just have to wait and see what happens when they release some more WCW Scott Steiner figures. They also revealed G.I. Bro for Booker T. So soon we will be getting 01 or 00 and 01 Booker T finally, when he won the WCW Championship from Jeff Jarrett. Shame we ain't got no Jeff Jarrett Elite to make him beat Booker T, but you know what? I honestly think Scott Steiner should have been the one to get the title before Jeff Jarrett. And you know, and I talked about that anyway. You know, I talked about, in one of my videos I did earlier this year, I talked about who I would have made the faces of the new WCW. I would have phased out the legends like Hulk Hogan and that. I talked about who I would have made the top heel in that faction when they did the New Blood crap and all that. And whenever I get around to the Monday Night War project, which I'll probably do, I don't know. I'll get it sometime, at some point. But yeah. So I said who I thought should be the faces of that new WCW and probably if they would have did that, WCW would probably still be in business. But they're not. They're gone. Now we got is AEW. And look at what AEW's been doing lately, which I will have a video sometime soon talking about AEW and my problems with everything AEW's been doing lately. What else did they reveal? Oh yeah, the defining moments. I think I might grab the Stone Cold individually from that line because it's Stone Cold from the match with Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, and it comes with one of my favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts. The blood on the lettering. It's even got the picture of Stone Cold bleeding on the back. I am so excited for that. I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for the next Monday Night War Stone Cold Steve Austin Ultimate that they're coming out with. So I'm excited for both of those things. And, you know, the jean shorts, I still don't know how I feel about the freaking jean shorts maybe being cloth. They would have just painted it on. I think that would have been better. And just gave Stone Cold the shirt. But, yeah. But they made it a 2-in-1 figure. And that's kind of annoying. I'll talk about that. I'll do a Toy Talk video sometime soon again, too. And talk about some of the things that still annoy me about Mattel WWE figures. But, yeah. Because when I talk about Mattel, all I talk about is the WWE figures. And, you know, I grew up a He-Man fan and all that, but, yeah. I've been a wrestling fan forever. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the Stone Cold looks really good. The Paul Heyman might be the other one I'd be interested in picking up. But the other two I really could give a damn about. I mean, what, Logan Paul, and then I don't know what the other one was. But, yeah, I'd rather frickin' just get the Austin and the Heyman. And that's it. Also, they revealed the new From the Vault Series 7 with Hall and Nash in it. And it looks like they're not going to put the Wolfpack logo, newly tooled WCW World Heavyweight Championship belt with that Kevin Nash, which is weird because they did that with the freaking Kevin Nash that came out originally. Because originally the Kevin Nash had it because there was only 2 times that belt came out when they were using the WWE version of the World Heavyweight title, and that was with Nash, and then that was with the freaking Wolfpack Elite Hogan. Now, maybe they're planning on putting out a Wolfpack Elite Hogan re-release with the retooled Big Gold and the Wolfpack logo on it. And we'll just have to wait and see. And we probably won't know until probably San Diego Comic-Con. So, yeah. Still got quite a few months to go. But anyway, yeah, outside of that, I really didn't care too much for it. They showed off some new basics and crap and, you know, a lot of current talent. Showed off the next wave of Ultimate Editions. They did show off a Randy Orton from the Fan Takeover that was into voting with John Cena, I guess. You know, he's come with the Intercontinental title. Might look for that when it comes out. Who knows? But, yeah. I mean, outside of a few things that really excited me, mostly the Monday Night War stuff that's coming out soon, I really wasn't too enamored with all the stuff they revealed. I'm pretty sure they'll have a better showing at Comic-Con. But overall, I wasn't enamored with too many of the reveals, and overall, I just really wasn't enamored with this year's WrestleMania. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like this video, subscribe for more. And I gotta give a new shout out. My sister-in-law Emily's got a YouTube channel, but I forgot the name. I think it's like Furry Love or something. I don't know. I don't know, I'll look it up. I'll probably shout it out Friday when I do the playthrough of Batman for NES. And if you saw the post on Facebook fan page yesterday, you saw that I decided to do this video over the Mask and Definitive review. I'm going to push that back till next week. Which I'll probably, then I'll review Batman Returns. Because at first when I did the videos last week, they weren't doing so well. Batman Brave and Bold didn't do that well review. Batman 89 movie didn't do well. Now it's doing really well. And the freaking Wrestle Figure Mania hadn't been, but it's picked up some views in that. So, yeah. It's picked up some views, so, yeah. If, you know, it picks up more views than that, of course, King of the Figures will happen. I did the build. Even the rest of the figure, final build, the Wrestle Figure Mania last week, didn't get many views. So, I'm like, you know, I'll switch masks to Phantasm. I'll hold it back till next week. Along with Batman Returns. And then the Friday playthrough, that'll pretty much finish Batman month. And then it's X-Men month. And then Mortal Kombat month. And I got quite a few good videos planned for Mortal Kombat month and X-Men month. And Anime month, I'll think about that as we get closer and closer to July. But yeah. Anyway. The draft is this Thursday. And depending on who we get, I might just make a short reacting. But I'm not going down to Newport for my ambassador thing. One, because of the draft. Two, because probably not going to have no money to eat or anything down there this week. So I'll just wait. But anyway, that'll do it. Please like the video, subscribe for more. Follow my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornsby 83 Show. Follow my Facebook business page, Trajan Toys. I just put up some new dolls. New dolls that we got for Trajan Toys to sell on the 3rd and 4th of May. So anyway, that'll do it. I'll probably have some more stuff by the time we get there. But that'll do it. Catch you guys later. Peace out.